One peaceful morning, Peter sat at the lakeside with his fishing rod, unaware that his life was about to change forever. Within minutes, a white Cadillac Escalade appeared, carrying the HOA president who accused him of breaking rules and fined him $100,000. But that was just the beginning, because soon she would frame him for $200,000 more. Crystal Lake was quiet that morning, the kind of peace Peter lived for. Water rippling, birds singing, and nothing but his fishing lines stretching across the lake. But peace shattered when a white Cadillac Escalade came roaring down the road, its tires crunching against the gravel. From the Escalade stepped Margaret Hawthorne, the HOA president. Her sharp suit and cold stare made the lake suddenly feel hostile. She pointed at Peter's fishing rod and declared, "You broke HOA rules. That's a $100,000 fine." Peter froze. $100,000 for fishing? He thought it was a bad joke, but Margaret's eyes told him otherwise. Before Peter could respond, his friend John Sana walked up and whispered, "She's been harassing people for years. You need to fight back." Margaret smirked, climbed back into her Escalade and drove off, but not before muttering something into her phone. Peter didn't know what she said, but her words would set in motion a plan far worse than a fishing fine. That evening, Peter told his neighbors about the fine. To his shock, they all had similar stories. Fake citations, sudden penalties, threats. Determined, Peter contacted lawyer Rebecca Cole, who agreed to look into the HOA's finances. Rebecca quickly noticed something disturbing: over $2 million missing from the HOA accounts. Meanwhile, Peter spotted Margaret's Escalade circling the lake at night, headlights reflecting on the water. Then came a warning, an envelope at Peter's doorstep with the words, "Walk away or the lake will bury you." But the true blow came when police knocked on Peter's door. They accused him of stealing $200,000 from the HOA treasury. Peter was stunned. How could he be fined $100,000, then blamed for stealing $200,000 more? What Peter didn't know was that Margaret had built a trap worth $300,000, and his freedom was the price.
Peter couldn't believe it. First, a $100,000 fine, now accused of stealing $200,000. It was Margaret's word against his, and she had the HOA on her side. Rebecca, his lawyer, promised, "We'll prove this is a setup, but we need evidence." Meanwhile, Margaret held a community meeting, loudly declaring Peter a thief and warning others not to trust him. But that night, John Senna spotted something unusual: tiny cameras hidden along the lake shore. Margaret was spying on everyone. A former HOA treasurer secretly reached out to Rebecca, confessing that Margaret created fake accounts and funneled the $200,000 herself. Determined, Peter and John followed Margaret's Escalade late one night. It led them to a storage facility on the edge of town. Inside the storage unit, they found a vault stacked with forged fines, ledgers, and proof of the stolen $200,000. But before they could escape, headlights lit up the room. Margaret stood there, smiling coldly, ready to destroy everything. The next morning, Peter walked into court. Margaret sat confidently with a team of expensive lawyers at her side. Margaret accused Peter of theft, fraud, and endangering the community. The room was heavy with tension. Rebecca countered with photographs of the storage vault, ledgers, and forged fines. The former treasurer testified, admitting Margaret orchestrated the fraud and used HOA funds for her luxury lifestyle. Just when it seemed Margaret might escape again, a new voice echoed through the courtroom: Federal Agent Jessica Mitchell, FBI. Jessica revealed months of investigation into Margaret's fraud, harassment, and surveillance crimes. The judge declared Margaret guilty on all charges. She was handcuffed as gasps filled the courtroom. Weeks later, Peter sat at the lake again, fishing rod in hand. This time there was no escalade, no shouting, just peace. John smiled beside him. The lake is finally ours.